Did you know dolphins actually have names for each other? Their brain to body ratio, which is a physical measure of intelligence, is second only to humans. They can understand artificially created languages and pass self awareness tests in mirrors. But the real question that researchers like Denise are trying to answer is, do dolphins have a language? One of the goals in dolphin cognition research is the association of social cues with audible signaling by correlating video with audio recordings. Therefore, researchers collect large multimedia databases containing long-term behavioral observations. However, animal communication research suffers from the slow speed of manual data analysis. Often, researchers search and annotate audio and video material using manual measurements. Also, dolphins communicate above the human hearing range, hence researchers need spectrograms to analyze dolphin sounds. We propose a system that could significantly reduce time and effort needed to synchronize, correlate, and visualize dolphin recordings. Let's have a walkthrough of the system.
So let's do a quick rundown of how this tool works. You'll see in front of me is a simple web browser, since this tool will be entirely web-based, and it's actually deployed at this URL here. And below this, you will see a view for a single snippet of dolphin audio, where at the top we have this movable playhead in order to go through the audio snippet. And we have our waveform, which is actually showing the amplitude of noise over time, which will just show the sort of louder and softer areas. And below that is the more useful view for research, which is the spectrogram view, which will actually show spikes in frequency over time, so that you can see certain levels of activity measured in frequency along here. And with these two views, we also have our annotation timeline, which is just a series of annotations that are written up for each snippet of audio. And in the future, this will be pulled from a database, but for now we have just a simple set of dummy annotations, just single word tags right now, but they could be complete sentences that will be viewable in this box here. So if I hit play, it'll just start playing the audio, as you would expect. And whenever it passes over a region with an annotation, it'll update the annotation view down here with what's currently playing. So this is pretty helpful. But one other addition that we added is actually being able to view just the audio snippet for a specific annotation. So if I click on an annotation, it'll move the playhead and just play the audio for that specific annotation and pause it. So this way you can just view specific snippets of audio, especially when it's like 10 or 15 seconds and you really want to zoom in. That can be very helpful. So there is one flaw with this current iteration, where we're actually not able to zoom in on certain parts of the audio, which is fine for a 9-second example clip like this, but if the audio were 1 minute or 2 minutes, it will be a little harder to navigate around. And the annotation views would also be very, very small if they were only for like 1 or 2 seconds. So we're going to iterate a lot more on this in Project 2. But for Project 1, we wanted to just get a basic idea of how that UI might work, where we just have this constant width on the timeline, and it now becomes a scrollable region that you can go through. And as we play, it'll actually update the scroll position depending on the playhead. So as you follow along, you can see the scrolling view of annotations going by, and maybe click on which annotations you want to zoom in on. And you'll see that the rest of it remains largely the same, just playing the current annotation and being able to move around the playhead however you want. But in the future, we want to add functionality for zooming in and out of audio clips in order to make it a little bit more useful.
This is what our mockup for Project 2 would look like. We will add multiple audio files as well as multiple horizontal axes at the bottom for comparing the clusters identified using different methods. And as discussed, we will also be adding the zoom feature.